giant scooter there beside you. Lee Corso as the Seminoles, his alma mater. The team comes onto the field here at Doak Campbell Stadium. Welcome everyone to ESPN College Football, presented by Vizio. Under a benevolent sky, a beautiful field. It's an ACC tilt between Louisville at 4-3 and the 2-3 Seminoles. A pivotal game for both these teams for different reasons. Hello everybody, I'm Mark Jones alongside Rod Gilmore, chopping it up with Quinn Kesnick, down to the field, joining us in just a few minutes. Rod, Lamar Jackson of Louisville, arguably the most indomitable, unassailable player in all of college football. And he's made highlight tapes out of Florida State, too.
He absolutely embarrassed Florida State last season. You know, 63 points on the board, 5 touchdowns. What he did in that game probably won him the Heisman, or at least set him on that path more so than any game at all last season.
Stacked up a bunch of yards, and this year the Seminoles, to a man, have been talking about payback. They have a quarterback this year that was thrust into the limelight, Blackman, after the first game and the injury to DeAndre Francois, and he's responded with 2 consecutive wins.
Well, you've got a Heisman winner on one side. You've got a true freshman making his 5th career start after an injury to Francois. Now, he's gotten better every week, but they are still protecting him, not just because he's 165 pounds at 6'5", and they don't want him to get beat up, but because they want to make sure they bring him along. A lot of quick passes, trying to get the running game going, things to make him comfortable, and he's played well in the clutch the last couple of weeks.
Head coach Jimbo Fisher really high on his potential and his talent, but the offense struggling, averaging a little more than 18 points per game. Let's go downstairs to Quinn Kesnick. Quinn?
Mark, the most intriguing matchup in this game when Louisville has the ball is Lamar Jackson against Derwin James. The Seminoles free safety, one of the top 10 players in the country, the best at his position. He's a Swiss Army knife. You'll see him line up at 6 or 7 different spots. He's also an eraser when his teammates make mistakes. Many times these two will be matched up in the run game, one-on-one tackling. It'll be James against Jackson. Can he be the Heisman winner's kryptonite?
Yeah, that's one of the questions that beg today as Florida State looks for their 3rd consecutive win. Bobby Petrino and Jimbo Fisher right there on your screen. Fisher's team actually needs 4 wins in the next 6 games to become bowl eligible. Florida State has been in the bowl game for 36 consecutive seasons, so a lot at stake here for Florida State, trying to get back into some winning ways. As Lamar Jackson will have it 1st down and 10 from his own 25-yard line, completing 60% of his passes on the season. As I said, the most imperious player in all of college football. Great size, great talent. Pompano Beach, Florida. The first and youngest Heisman Trophy winner, recruited actually by Florida State, attended their quarterback camp as a junior. 1st down and 10 from the 25. Handoff to Bonifant on 1st down, and a nice hole up the middle, and a good gain on the play of about 9 yards. Well, you saw the numbers. Jackson completing 60% of his passes, 16 touchdowns against just 5 interceptions. While you go back to his talent as a youngster, this guy had a throwing coach at the age of 7 years old, so he has been groomed for the position in South Florida for a long time. 2nd and 1. Bonifant again, brought down by Matthew Thomas, picks up 2, and it's a 1st down.
You talk about Jackson and his talent, but it wasn't clear when he came out of high school that everybody was all on it.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, he was not the top quarterback coming out.
Yeah, only a 3-star, I say only a 3-star prospect. Improved his throwing motion between his junior and senior seasons in high school. Florida State recruited him as a quarterback as well as a defensive back. Jackson pulls the trigger and a flick of the wrist. Another 1st down out near midfield, and a gain of 13 yards to Des Fitzpatrick.
You can see that he's gotten more and more comfortable, that quick little flick of the wrist. You know, I think of him as a taller right-handed version of Michael Vick. You watch that release and how quickly that ball comes off, that flick of the wrist reminds me very much of Michael Vick.
332 yards passing and a couple of touchdowns last year against the Seminoles. Pass complete to midfield. Smith with the catch, pick up of about 2 on the play.
You know, we've seen Jackson in the pocket here for a couple of plays, and the one thing that's been kind of overlooked about him this season is how much he's improved as a pocket passer. You know, it's one of the things that he worked on during the offseason. He's no longer just the guy who takes off and runs. He can beat you from the pocket.
Spent a bunch of time at the Manning Passing Academy this summer. Hands it off between the tackles again down to the 45-yard line. A pickup of 5 on the play. That was Williams with his first carry. There's a look at his improvement from a season ago.
Yeah, you see the passing yards through 7 games last year versus this year. Up. You know, his rushing is down because his passing is up. He's doing more from the pocket.
3rd and 4. And of course, still a number of good quarterback runs in the playbook for Jackson.
Hey, don't be fooled. The passing is great, but if they want to get him on the edge, on the perimeter, they have lots of ways to do it so he can show you his running skills.
4 on the play clock. And as we say that, the Magic Man goes to work. Jackson with a first down to the 22-yard line. Just one of those RPOs, right?
Nothing fancy, Jonesy. I mean, a little zone read. You see him read this correctly, and then watch him find his way to the edge. He wants to get to the edge. He's inside. Let me get outside. You know, that change of direction, the great footwork, it's the thing that separates him from so many quarterbacks.
Pickup of 23 yards and a first down for Louisville. From the 22. Jackson out of the shotgun. Keeps it himself. Got a nice block. Hello, Lamar Jackson. Touchdown Cards. Got a good block on the edge from Javonte Bagley. Number 88 is wide out. And that's his 11th rushing touchdown of the season.
Yeah, nothing fancy. You know, you mentioned it. A good block. You pull your backside tight end to give you a little help out there after they little zone read it inside. And they're undernumbered out there. Florida State's short a guy. No one in position to handle Jackson. 2 big runs by him on that drive.
Doesn't take much, just a touch. So far in the matchup between Jackson and Derwin James, Rod, it's 1-0 Lamar, right?
Yeah, and you know what? Didn't look anywhere close to him. Derwin not in the picture. That embarrassment last year, starting the same way this year.
Welcome back, everyone, to ESPN College Football, presented by Vizio. Lamar Jackson moving his team down the field. 7 plays, 75 yards, a little over 3 minutes on the clock. A 22-yard run, and in a blink of an eye, the most dynamic player in college football has his team out in front. From the 4-yard line on the return, Florida State. That's Derwin James, who was not as part of the play here on this last touchdown run. Rod, wasn't a factor.
Jonesy, this is too easy. Nothing fancy here. Formation to the field. You got your tight end Stanberry. They're going to bring him back across while everyone's lined up to the left side. They're short a guy. You got a blocker, you're shorter defender, you're outnumbered, and you don't want to be outnumbered when Jackson has the football coming at you. That's too easy. Got to get that one squared away.
The only player in college football ever to run for 1,500 yards and throw for 3,500 yards in the same season. Right now, his counterpart, James Blackman, the true freshman for Florida State, at the helm. Hands it off to Jaquez Patrick. Nice gain between the tackles of 4 yards as we take a look at our starting quarterback today. 6'5", a lithe 169 pounds out of Belle Glade, Florida.
You're being generous at 169.
That's with some weights. And remember, he did attend Louisville's quarterback camp as a junior. Well-liked and well admired by Bobby Petrino. Remembered him at the time. Cam Akers out of the backfield. Makes the catch at the 20. And Akers picks up a first down for the Seminoles. Rod, that's a good thing for them because this is an offense that has struggled this year. Just 18 points per game.
8 touchdowns on the season. And Jimbo Fisher is really trying to protect the young quarterback. and he's doing a good job of it. They've gone to a lot of first down easy plays. The screen pass you saw there, a run inside. Get him to 2nd and 6, get him to 2nd and 5, and give him a chance, and don't let the defense tee off on him.
First down from the 35, a little play action. Blackman has a man down to the 28-yard line. Murray with the reception and a first down.
Yeah, another first down play by Jimbo Fisher to take pressure off Blackman. Just a long crossing route. Murray coming all the way across the field behind the linebackers in front of the safeties, and he just drops it in nicely to him. That's well done. Make it easy for him on first down.
A 37-yard pickup. A nice-looking pass by the quarterback out of Glade Central High School. Same high school as former Seminole Calvin Benjamin, wide receiver in the NFL right now with the Panthers. Santonio Holmes and Fred Taylor amongst others. And off into the boundary. This is Akers. Akers staying on his feet. And he makes it just shy of the 20-yard line.
You see Akers running hard, Mark. He and Jaquez Patrick, the last 2 games, have combined for over 200 yards rushing per game. It's an enlightened Florida State running attack suddenly. Today they're facing a Louisville team that has struggled to tackle. I mean, you talk about yards after carry, one of the worst in the FBS, coming off a game against BC where they surrendered over 500 yards after contact. Tackling is essential.
Wow. 2nd down and 2. That's Akers plowing forward. Looks like he picked up enough for the first down. DeAsian Richardson with a tackle on the play.
Going back to Q's point, this is about pride for that Louisville defense. There is nothing worse in football than having a team line up and ram the ball down your throat. And the essence of the game is putting the other man on his back against his will. And Boston College put all of them on their back last week. And so you don't worry about passing. Your whole deal now is we're going to commit to stopping the run.
They were demoralized. This is Patrick again. That time they wrap him up and make the stop. Yet Louisville offensively last week had over 600 yards of offense, and they lost.
Yeah. Well, when your defense just gets, whooped like that. I mean, A.J. Dillon, freshman running back at Boston College, went for over 270 yards, a big 240-pound back. And guess what Patrick is? 240-pound back.
They're going to have to wrap him up here. 2nd and 7. Izzo sets to the left. The give is between the tackles again. Patrick, as mentioned, 1st and goal, Seminoles.
You know, Florida State has not been good in the red zone, Jonesy. But where they are right now, you see 35% in the red zone. I mean, you really want to be up around 70% to be called good in the red zone. They are 125th in FBS. But this drive with Patrick pounding inside against a defense that's struggling against the run, they might get it done here.
Blackman looking into the end zone. Wide open, touchdown, Florida State. Izzo with the catch.
They took Izzo and moved him from his tight end spot out to the wide receiver spot and let him short motion inside, and he just got lost. No one picked him up as he cut back outside. Well-designed play.
Izzo with his 2nd touchdown catch of the season, the 4th of his career. And what a great answer for the Seminoles offensively. For a team that struggled offensively for most of the season, averaging a little over 18 points per game.
Here you see the short motion, and you see the adjustment by the defensive backs. And then they turn him loose. Inside coverage, no one on the outside. Complete mix-up back there as to whether you're staying man with him, but completely lost Izzo. And Blackman read it perfectly.
Tied at 7. And it goes out of bounds, and Cardinals will get a first down from the 35. Let's go back. First down and 10. This is Bonifant between the tackles out to the 38-yard line.
Have you ever seen a reigning Heisman winner get less attention than Jackson?
Yeah, he should be getting a lot more shine than he's getting. And, you know, the best player in college football a season ago, youngest winner of the Heisman Trophy ever.
He's not showing up on any polls right now.
And his numbers have been very prolific. Could probably point to the team's record of only 4-3, but still.
Well, I think it was that and the fact that they struggled at the end of last season.
Over the middle, throws a dart complete to his tight end, and a first down at the 37. That's Stanberry with the catch. And they move the chains again, a 25-yard gain.
You can see his poise, his improvement in the pocket, calm and cool, and the flick of the wrist. It amazes me how similar that is to, you know, the Michael Vick flick of the wrist we talked about earlier.
From the 37. Jackson keeps it on the option down to the 32. You know, during his recruitment, so many schools looked at Lamar Jackson, Rod, as a defensive back, wide receiver, running back, quarterback, quote-unquote athlete. On the home visit, when Bobby Petrino sat down in that living room with Lamar and his mom Felicia, I'm told it was a deal where Felicia looked at the head coach and said, he's yours if you make him play exclusively, allow him to play exclusively quarterback.
Well, you can't lie to mom. No. Petrino did the right thing there.
Sure did. Brought home the Heisman for the first time to Louisville. Nowhere to go for Jackson this time, though. No escaping that visit.
And that was Kando. They brought Kando inside, number 13, the freshman, 6'7", 252 out of Baltimore. And he snuffed, completely snuffed, the first option and blew up that play.
You don't see that happen many times because Jackson is so elusive. And that's going to be the last play of the first quarter here in Tallahassee. Lamar Jackson making a homecoming to his home state. Native of Pompano Beach. With the game's first touchdown, we're tied at 7 when we come back to Tallahassee. Tied at 7 here in Tallahassee. Heisman Trophy winner Lamar Jackson looking at 3rd and long from the Florida State 37-yard line.
They're not afraid to run him.
That's what they do, Rod. But this time bottled up, brought down to the 32-yard line. That's well within Blanton Creeky's field goal range. Josh Sweat making the tackle on the play for Florida State.
Yeah, but I think they were thinking 2 plays. They ran him on that 3rd down. And they've done that before.
Yeah.
And so you come back now, you got a 4th down, and you've got options with Jackson because right now he's in control of this game.
They're 8 of 14 on 4th down this year. Jackson behind his receiver, incomplete, and a flag thrown on the play, but it may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage.
But Taylor was there early, but you're right. If that thing is tipped, they'll pick up that flag.
Yeah, that negates the pass interference flag.
There is no foul for pass interference. The ball is tipped.
Yep,
First
there's
down,
the tip.
Florida State.
So the Seminoles get a win defensively, and they'll take over on downs. 1st and 10. And now it's the true freshman, James Blackman, hands it off to Cam Akers. Akers with some tough running, about a gain of 9. Akers and Patrick have done a great job in the running game, Q, the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, last thing on the Heisman debate, the Cardinals are 4-6 in their last 10 games. As Rod said earlier, they lost their last 3, and now they're 4-3 this season. 4-6. I think there's a lot of voters who are looking elsewhere.
Yeah, and the voters are only looking at 3 or 4 guys right now. Usually you get 7 to 10, according to our Heismanologist, Joe Tessitore.
On 2nd and 1, Seminoles pick up the first down. That's Cam Akers again. Akers had a career high against Miami, 121 yards in that tough loss.
You know what I'm looking for here? I'm looking to see some energy, some juice from that Louisville defense. Remember, they just got waylaid last week by Boston College. You know, where's the juice? Where's the energy? Where are you lining up?
Yeah, that's what it looks like on this play. 1st and 10. Blackman with time. Great catch and pass at the 38 to Auden Tate, who atones for that earlier drop. Boy, good touch on the ball, Rod, by James Blackman, a gain of 17.
He can spin it. Great protection, great comfort, great throw. I mean, face mask high, leading his guy to the sideline. He's looking very comfortable at that quarterback spot.
And Tate, of course, had the game-winning touchdown catch against Wake Forest a couple of weeks ago. And Blackman's first career win. Florida State comes in 2-3 today. Nowhere to go this time up the middle. That was Cam Akers. Rod, let me ask you this. You look at the Louisville defense who got a win on that play. You played on defense at DB. Honestly, you hear offensive players say, no, the defense is, they're cool with us. You know, they're giving up 45 points a game. But does the offense look at you guys a little sideways sometimes?
Of course they do. Of course. You get those little, you know, comments in the locker room.
Right.
Hey, you guys gonna stop anybody this week?
Wow.
You know, it happens. You don't speak about it publicly, but yeah, you get it.
Let's see if Louisville's defense responds here today. They run it into the boundary with Cam Akers. Gets his shoulders squared and goes north-south. Quint?
Getting 11 helmets to the ball has been a chore for this defense all season. We talked about the poor tackling. Too often it's been one player, you know, one-on-one tackles, and there's not a wave of white jerseys behind it. And I think Peter Sermon, the defensive coordinator, simplified things this week, and he just wants to see energy. He wants to see guys running to the ball, having fun on defense, getting 11 black helmets on that ball carrier.
Q, how much talent does it take to run to the ball?
None.
None.
I'm just focused on the weak side guys.
Exactly.
Are they busting their tail to get to the ball?
Exactly. Where's the juice? Are you bringing the juice?
3rd down and 8. Blackman looking at Tate and then goes through his progression, nowhere to go, and sacked. So the much maligned Cardinal defense gets a sack out of one of the greatest comeback stories on that roster. Young with the sack.
Yeah, he's bringing the juice this time. He fights his way. Look at him crawl to get to Blackman to make that sack. That's the juice. That's the energy. And you're talking about a guy who's a likely first-round pick.
Yeah, and a guy that many people thought would never play again a couple of years ago when he was injured in the Music City Bowl back in 2015. He missed 20 months of football before being able to come back onto the field. Logan Tyler with the punt, and this is going to be a good one. A little too good. It took a random bounce in the wrong direction. 48 yards, it'll come back out to the 20, 1st and 10 when we come back. Beautiful day here and a radiant sky here in Tallahassee. College football presented by Vizio, tied at 7. With 10:37 to go in the first half. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, Quint Kesnick down on the field. Lamar Jackson back on the field. 1st down and 10 for Louisville from the 20. Little bootleg action has a man complete at the 23, and a nice tackle on Bonifant on the play by Leonard Warner III. Gain of about 5 on the play. You know, it was interesting. Jackson, as his role model / blueprint, he thought that Teddy Bridgewater was the guy that he wanted to follow in the footsteps of, another South Florida product.
Completely different style.
Yeah, who went to Louisville. Just in the terms of his disposition and the way that he carries himself and his ability to lead. I'm not sure Bridgewater could run like that, though, like you said, Rod. 1st down for Louisville.
No, but Deshaun Watson runs a little bit like that. And, you know, Bobby Petrino told us yesterday that guys like Watson and Jackson get labeled. And that hurts them with the NFL scouts. They don't realize that just because they're great athletes, they are pocket passers. And what Watson is doing at the NFL is probably helping Jackson in terms of what scouts see, and they see his performance from the pocket now.
Yeah, great point. 1st and 10 from the 21. Bonifant staying on his feet. Out to the 25. All right, it's 2nd down at about 6 to go.
You know, Jackson started awfully hot. His first 3 carries, 60 yards, slowed since then.
And that's a demonstration. They fumbled it. Jackson put it on the ground. Seminoles have it Room service, touchdown. Matthew Thomas.
Jones, it was Kando, the freshman, who made a play earlier on the zone read, coming down and taking a big hit on Jackson. And Jackson just loses the ball. It squirts out. Thomas picks it up. But it was all about Kando coming down faster than Jackson expected and strips him of the ball. Now, any chance his knee was down?
They're looking to see, they're reviewing the play to see if his knee was down first, but it appeared as if that ball really literally popped out of there.
It popped out, but it popped out after a while. Now, they look at every play. So if they haven't stopped it, they've already determined that his knee was not down.
Aguayo with the extra point, and it's good. Thomas with a 34-yard fumble, scoop, and score. Unimpeded, and the Seminoles D puts them out in front, 14-7. Back here in Tallahassee, Mark Jones chopping it up with Rod Gilmore and Quint Kessenich in a pivotal ACC game. Now, Rod, we get a chance to see how he responds to a little adversity here. His last 3 runs have gone for negative yards. First down and 10 from the 25. Out of the backfield, complete. Nice alley out to the 35-yard line by Bonifant, pushed out of bounds by McFadden. Q.
Mark, that is a absolutely great screen call on first down, because the fans are on their feet. The momentum has swung in this game. The defense is bouncing around with energy. They rush the passer hard. Next thing you know, they dump it off for a screen. So great play call by Bobby Petrino, and this is such a critical drive for the Cardinals.
Well, Q, so far, Derwin James has made good on his promise after his defense gave up 63 last week. They're playing well in the first half.
From the 34. It's going to be a first down. Williams with his second carry of the day for the Cardinals. 4-yard gain.
Rod, you talked about the high-end talent, maybe 4 NFL draft picks on the Seminole defense. What explains their low turnover numbers this year? That was only their 5th created turnover. And I think they only have 10 points over turnovers.
Well, when you play a lot of man coverage and blitz a lot, it's hard to get takeaways.
This time, enough time for Jackson. Williams out of the backfield this time. James, the All-American, makes the stop.
When you play man coverage, you're covering your man. So it's not as easy to see the ball in the air and make plays. When you play zone coverage, you got eyes on the quarterback. You can jump on the ball. And if you get a chance to do that, and you also put pressure on the quarterback, you got more things happening, more eyes on things, you get more takeaways.
So much talent has come through the gates here in Oak Campbell Stadium. Jackson shovels it ahead. Boy, what a play. Very resourceful and enterprising pass to Jalen Smith. A little chest pass, I guess we could call it. Little sleight of hand by Lamar Jackson. Can't blame him. That wasn't a spiral, Rod, but it got to its intended
That's a Brett Favre throw, man. Hey, sometimes it doesn't matter how you get it there. You just got to get it there.
Got it there for the first down. 6-yard gain on the play. Got a whole bag of tricks. This one a little more conventional, down to the 37-yard line. Caught over the middle by Jalen Smith. Good to see Jalen Smith back on the field. He missed a few games, 3 games, with a wrist injury.
Well, he's got a good matchup over there with McFadden. McFadden, everyone sees as a first-round pick at corner, 6'2", matches up very well with the 6'3" Jalen Smith. That's one worth watching all day.
Jackson under duress and sacked back at the 40-yard line by Brian Burns.
Hey, Jonesy, that was McFadden stuffing out Smith on a little short crossing route, and Jackson didn't come off. He had nowhere else to go. He gets sacked now. You're in a 2nd and 14. This is when you think about big plays, Florida State defensively. How do you get Derwin James in a position to make something, another turnover, another sack?
Jackson surely going to locate where Derwin James is, and vice versa after the loss of 4. Jackson one-on-one, incomplete. And a flag thrown as Levante Taylor was stride for stride a little too aggressively on Seth Dawkins.
Got to be a little
interference.
sneakier.
Defense number 1. 15-yard penalty. First down.
By sneaky, you mean what?
Well, you can't have that left hand up at the shoulder pad. Watch him at the end here. This is going to be seen. See that left hand? That's up high. You will get flagged for that every time. He's 5'10", working against a 6'3" guy. Get that hand down around the hip. We'll never, ever throw a flag on that one.
Sounds like you've done that a few times.
Did I say that one out loud?
Sounds like you gave away the secrets there, Rod Gilmore.
I could hide some of those.
Go back and look at some of those old Pac-10 tapes. See
those
you
hands
cheating.
low. Those hands low.
First down and 10 after the pass interference call. But yeah, they've had some great defensive backs at Florida State. Deion Sanders, Terrell Buckley, just to mention a couple. First and 10. Incomplete at the 21. Tried to spin it to Stanberry, the tight end.
Can't have that. That's a first down throw. It's an easy throw. That's the one throw we've seen today where you go, that one's inexplicable. You get a chance to set yourself up. You got to be on target with that one. That's patience. That's just understanding. Petrino can't be happy with that throw.
Second and 10. Jackson into the end zone.
Are you kidding me?
Touchdown. He comes right back to Dawkins.
Are you kidding me?
How do you like me now?
How quickly did he forget about that bad throw? Watch the flick of the wrist. We've talked about it. The Michael Vick little flick. Give it some air. Lead your guy right to the flag. What a throw.
You talk about touch.
Oh, my.
Dropped it in over the head of the DB, Kyle Myers, who was with Dawkins stride for stride.
That thing fell out of the sky.
Well, Rod, you can say this for Jackson. He's got that next play mentality. And we're not at 14 here in Tallahassee. I'll tell you that was a nice highlight-worthy pass by Lamar Jackson a moment ago to Dawkins.
Well, if you have any questions about his arm strength or his touch, they should be eliminated.
Yeah. Just haven't been paying attention. And this one will come back out to the 25-yard line. First and 10. Jaquez Patrick in the backfield beside James Blackman. They set up the screen. Well executed. Patrick. Boy, you talk about yards after contact, which Quint mentioned at the top of the show. Patrick gave you some yards after contact at the offensive end. Nice gain on the play. There's a look at Saquon Barkley. You know, Rod, since we saw him earlier this year in the first game of the season, been working on my hang cleans.
You're up to 405 yet?
Hey, maybe half of that if I'm lucky on a good day. Blackman overthrows his intended receiver in the seam.
Yeah, not the best clock management either, Jonesy. You had a couple timeouts and you're down to 31 seconds now. You see him stand in and take a shot at, again, 165 pounds. He is clearly the smallest guy on the field, the lightest guy on the field.
And Grenard there to get a shot at his ribs. 3rd and 1 for Florida State.
Yeah, they wasted a lot of time not getting out of bounds and not using a timeout.
Well, Ricky Aguayo has 53-yard field goal range. And enough for the first down at the 35, Q.
Yeah, of all the nuances and difficulties of being a freshman quarterback, the 2-minute drill has got to be high up on the list right now for James Blackman. Just operating at a fast tempo, knowing how to use the perimeter and your timeouts.
Don't want to overload the quarterback too much. And he gets picked off in midfield. Jermaine Washington. And he picks up a wave of blockers. Brought down at the 29-yard line. Enough time for the field goal unit to get onto the field for Louisville. Just as you were saying.
Yeah, bad throw, Q. I thought that after they ran the ball the last play, they were simply going to take it in at halftime. Didn't look like they were trying to run 2-minute drill. But this is a throw that gets beyond the tight end, Izzo. And Washington is just the recipient of a gift that comes right to him. And this could be 3 points for Louisville.
Yeah, they run their field goal unit onto the field. Blanton Creaky with a long of 48 this year. This one is going to come from about 45 yards out. A perfect 9 of 9 on the season to capitalize on the pick. And he pushed it to the right. And that's going to be the end of the first half of play, as Louisville squanders an opportunity to get 3 points off the interception late in the first half. 14's on the board. Tough pick by Blackman a moment ago as we head to the studio for our halftime report. And welcome back, everyone, to Tallahassee, Florida, to ESPN College Football, presented by Vizio. Beautiful skies scattering down on a pristine-looking field, and tied at 14 as the Cardinals try to snap their 2-game losing streak. A pivotal game in the ACC. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, Quint Kesnick down on the field, joining us in just a bit. The Heisman Trophy winner, Lamar Jackson, with a touchdown passing and running, but a story of 2 different quarters for him, Rod.
Yeah, and it's really been about the defense on both sides, really. You think about what Derwin James and Florida State did. After Lamar Jackson had the great opening drive, they kind of shut him down. And then on the other side, you think about Louisville, after being ripped last week, and this being a matter of pride for their defense, they've come out and they've shut down Florida State's rushing attack, as they really had to do, and it's been good to see them bounce back that way.
Yeah, they've really atoned from a week ago against Boston College in a stunning home loss, a game in which they were heavily favored in. Seminoles will receive the kick to start the second half here. 2 yards deep, and it's going to come out to the 25-yard line. James takes the knee. Quint?
Continue to gang tackle. The words of Bobby Petrino about his Cardinal defense. They've played remarkably well when you contrast to how porous they were a week ago against Boston College. Offensively, guys, 3 things he wants to see. Number 1, got to block the nose tackle on running downs inside. On 3rd down, the DNs are a main concern for him. And then lastly, their wide receivers have to beat man-to-man coverage as they did on their touchdown.
Cute going to the short sleeve look now. You'd think it's hot down there or something. Pass complete to Auden Tate. And Tate tackled at the 46. So, Rod, on this opening drive of the second half, interesting to see what we get out of James Blackman, how he responds from that late interception that he threw at the end of the first half.
Well, remember, he had a bad throw before the pick, and Fisher showed confidence coming back, giving him a chance, and he throws the pick. Now he gets him back in rhythm with the short throw back to the let's do good things on 1st down and make it short for him on 2nd down.
Cam Akers in the backfield, dotting the I, a lead blocker out in front of him. And that Louisville defense has been impenetrable in the last quarter and a little bit. James Hearns, number 99, making the tackle that time. Sets up a 3rd down and long on the loss of 1. Check that 3rd and 2, pardon me. From the 45. A little counter. 1st down run by Cam Akers into Louisville territory at the 47-yard line. Mencho with a nice block to lead the way on the gain of 7.
And you'll get to see Fisher's play calling again here when you get back to the 1st down. He's thinking in terms of how to make things better for Blackman. Screen passes, short throws, anything on 1st down that will get them to 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, anything like that to make sure he's not a sitting duck on a 2nd and long situation.
1st down and 10. Blackman drops back. Auden Tate juggles it, then catches it, and carries his defender. Man, he didn't give him a bus ticket, but he took him for a little ride.
Well,
Russ Yeast.
You think that's a big bus out there, 6'5", 225. He can take you for a ride. And again, quick game. 3-step, get rid of it, get the ball out of his hands. And now he's facing a corner who is not that big, 180 pounds versus 225.
Oh, Rod, that was a 7-yard carry.
Drag. He'll come along for this ride?
Yeah, 14-yard pickup. 1st down and 10. Blackman trying to escape and ducks at the 33-yard line. You know, Rod, you touched on it in our meetings with Coach Jimbo Fisher, adjusting goals. And Fisher had an interesting perspective. He said he wants his players to be selfish in what they do, how they play, what they ultimately put on tape for guys at the next level to see. And if they do that, that's going to help the team.
Different day. Yeah, he says, you know, you can't sell players on simply the team goal. Let's win 8 games, 9 games. No, tell them you came here to get to the league. You want the NFL. Well, they're looking at your tape. You play well, it'll help the team.
Florida State team trying to get to 500 today. Nice cut north-south by Cam Akers. Down to the 27-yard line, a gain of 6 inside the 30.
That offensive line doing a good job. Louisville having trouble getting off blocks on that play. A little bit more intensity up front by the Florida State offensive line, a line that's been banged up most of the season.
Three yards to go on the 10th play of the drive. Blackman overthrows his receiver and almost intercepted. Looked like they were trying to set up a little jailbreak screen, but Russ Yeast almost had himself a pick.
Too much going on, too much ball handling there. Faking his own read, trying to drop the ball in. Way too much stuff here for the youngster. Look at this. Fake this, read this guy, pressure in your face, and throw the screen.
A lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts that almost went the other way.
The pressure by Cannon on the play. And now in comes Ricky Aguayo. 11-13 on the season. This one coming from 44 yards out. Aguayo pushes it to the right. And we're still tied at 14 on a missed opportunity on the opening drive of the third quarter. Jackson runs it out to the 33. Matthew Thomas on the stop.
Yeah, Derwin is very vocal with his teammates, and you can just tell with his body language that he loves to compete, and he's got a great relationship with Charles Kelly. Keep in mind, he did not play in this game last year. It was merely weeks after his meniscus surgery. He sat at home and watched Louisville put up 63. I know this second half means a lot to him personally.
Q, you know.
Jackson keeps it on the run out to the 37-yard line. Close to the first down, after a yard short.
Q, you know that opening drive, Jackson was fantastic. You know, 3 carries, 60 yards rushing. But by and large, since then, Derwin James and company have shut him down rushing.
Yeah, it's the lack of explosive plays from Louisville right now. They've been typical this year. They've had a lot of big plays.
3rd and 1, Bonifant on the fake. Jackson keeps it and picks up the first down at the 40-yard line. You know, when you're 6'3", 220 pounds, as Derwin James is, you can play any one of the DB spots. You can play linebacker.
Well, he's also long. He's got those long arms like the wingspan of a 7-footer. You know, so when he gets his hands on you, you're in trouble. He can press you. He can do some other things like that. You see him back here. Now, just because he's back there, that doesn't mean he'll stay back there. They'll bring him up on run support once the play begins.
Jackson given time. Now one-on-one, and he usually wins those. He put the sauce on the Seminoles. Jackson down the sideline, still on his feet. The Magic Man down to the 8-yard line. Wow.
And James, the eraser, makes the tackle back there, but what a show. Watch him get to the edge. One guy cannot get him. And he runs through another one. I mean, this is pure athleticism, change of direction, a feel for running with the football. And James finally makes the tackle, and they have a nice little exchange there at the end.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. You said Michael Vick, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with that.
A taller, right-handed Michael Vick, and a better passer at this stage than Vick was at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Vick has been showing him a lot of love on social media. 1st and goal, they hand it off. Bonifant just barely tripped up a yard short by Derwin James on a touchdown-saving tackle by James.
Yeah, they had James in the middle of the field, prepared for anything, and watch James come across. A little late getting here. He doesn't make this tackle. That is 6. But at the point of attack, nobody in Bonifan's way.
Well, Bonifan's a big dude, too, at 6'3". Second and goal. Bonifan again. Touchdown, Cardinals. And they take the lead.
Just an inside, straight-ahead dive. We talked about the former quarterback learning to finish runs, running behind his pads, down low, not worrying about being 6'3", making himself smaller and harder to hit.
Talk about selflessness. That guy has played every position almost on offense for Louisville. His 4th rushing touchdown of the season, the 9th of his career. And the Cardinals take a 7-0 lead. It was all set up on that long run, that 51-yard run by Lamar Jackson.
You mean that vintage 51-yarder with Jackson that he could put on his Heisman reel? If you're thinking about adding a guy into the Heisman mix, this might be the one you need. Finish it off with Bonifan in the end zone, and Cardinals are up.
Look at the Champions Club here in Bill Campbell Stadium. Some great cuisine up top here as we look at the Louisville Cardinals taking a 21-14 lead.
What'd you call those things these guys are wearing around their head that stay cool? Therminators?
Thermocaps? Terminators, huh? Terminator. They're trying to put the Seminoles on ice right now. 7:04 to go. It's going to come out to the 25-yard line. And like you said, Deshaun Watson doing what he's doing, making it perhaps a little bit easier for Jackson and guys like him. Blackman downfield, picked off at the 30-yard line by Washington. And Tremaine Washington with his 2nd interception of the season. And Louisville right back in business.
He took it away. Washington took it away. The ball was a little bit underthrown. Watch him go get it at the highest point. Now, this is about a defense that was maligned last week. Look at him go up and take that away.
Look back at the last minute, Rod.
This is great. They're playing with some juice. He never quits, never gets up. He runs until he catches up with the receiver and then goes to get it. I mean, you're seeing more fight, more energy out of this Louisville defense than we've seen in a couple weeks.
Defense that gave up 45 last week at home against Boston College. Certainly atoning and responding here this afternoon. 1st and 10. Bonifan brought down after a gain of 1. 2nd and 10. Cardinals trying to capitalize after that interception a moment ago. The 2nd of the day, by the way, by Tremaine Washington.
That last drive, Jackson ran for 67 of the 69 yards.
Little run pass option through the hole in a blink, and another first down as he continues to just chew up yardage down to the 30-yard line. Jackson that time picked up 15.
Yeah, they're doing a good job inside. They're blocking Noddy, who's a potential 1st-round pick, number 91. Got him moved out of the way. When they can run it inside and then get Jackson to the perimeter, they're really dangerous.
Looking to pass this time. Going up top. Caught but out of bounds, incomplete, intended for Jalen Smith, who ran out of real estate down the sidelines.
Yeah, too much. He throws that ball into the end zone. It's 6 points. Give him a chance.
Sets up a 2nd down and 10 instead. For the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, Lamar Jackson, out of Pompano Beach, Florida. Hand it off down to the 25. That's Williams on the carry, brought down by Josh Sweat. You know, when you talk about Jackson's running ability, his mom, his coaches in high school reworked his highlight tape. They took his running plays and put it at the back end of his highlight tape, put his passing plays at the front end, just to change any misconceptions schools might have about recruiting him as a non-quarterback. He hands it off this time to his tailback, Williams. On the move, touchdown Cardinals! For a guy that is just coming back from an ACL injury in April, Williams with the touchdown run.
Yeah, just a little counter. They pull the guard. They get the running back, Bonifant, out there. They have 2 blockers ahead of him. And Florida State outnumbered on the short side of the field. It's an easy walk into the end zone.
And a great comeback story there for Williams, who, as I mentioned, you know, you look at May, June, July, August, September, just 6 months ago, 5 months ago, he was still coming back from that ACL injury, and he gives Louisville a 14-point lead here in Tallahassee. Speaking of hot, boy, Williams and Louisville on a roll right now, leading by 14. On the return, this is Amir Rasul, one of the fastest players on that Seminole roster, out to the 25. 1st and 10 from the 42. We're going to stay patient and run the ball. Good cut by Patrick. And Patrick picks up another Seminole first down. Time for today's Aflac trivia question. And it is, you and I are perfect 1-for-1 from last week, right?
Doesn't happen very often.
The last true freshman to start a game at quarterback for Florida State.
Oh, I got
You
no
got that one?
chance. No. I mean, I remember there were youngsters like, you know, Winston was a redshirt freshman. He wasn't a true freshman. I don't think Ponder was a true freshman.
Charlie Ward, did he start as a
No,
true freshman?
no.
Reveal?
Oh, there's no way I
Ferguson,
was
no.
going to get Chip Ferguson.
We're done.
Good quarterback, but
Yeah. Honey dip Chip.
I can't go back to 85.
No. Under 30 seconds to go in the third. And hand it off to Patrick. He breaks a couple of tackles down to the 31.
You know, Louisville fans have to be pleased with the defensive effort. You got 4 guys. 4 guys getting to the tackle. You didn't get 4 guys on 4 tackles last week. They're playing with some juice. They brought some energy. Through 3 quarters, this Louisville defense has brought it.
And that's the end of the third quarter of play. Can the Cardinals defense close this out? They lead by 14 points. They're trying to put the Seminoles on ice. And maybe give Lamar Jackson one more chance to get back on the field before it's all said and done. Welcome back, everyone. College football presented by Vizio. Louisville up 14 as we get ready for the start of the fourth quarter. Rob, there's been a lot going on this week at the University of Louisville. The athletic director, George, fired. Their performance today on the field says a lot about Bobby Petrino's ability to keep his team focused on the business at hand.
Yeah, not an easy week, but he's got them dialed in.
2nd and 8 for the Seminoles. Blackman open at the 24-yard line. Pass complete down to the 15 to Murray. 1st and 10. 11th play of the drive coming up for Blackman. Backs are working out of the eye. Good cutback, but nowhere to go for Jaquez Patrick. We talked incessantly today about that Cardinal defensive front, Rod.
Yeah.
This is a different looking group.
Well, and
last week.
that was Gigi Robinson blowing up that play inside. Richardson gets credit for the tackle, but Robinson blew it up. You know, and this is a pride week. This is all about who are you as a player? Who are you as a man? That's exactly what the D coordinator, you know, said to those guys. This isn't about X's and O's. It's about where's your pride. You got embarrassed last week. Can you put the man across from you on his back? That's all it's about.
Peter Sermons, the defensive coordinator for Louisville, has his team lit. Blackman into the end zone. Incomplete. Overthrew his tight end, Saunders. And he had him, but he was running out of real estate back there.
You know, just to go back for a moment or so, you mentioned Jurich being fired at Louisville. And for football purposes, what people need to know is that the only impact is that it reduces Bobby Petrino's buyout. You know, a lot of people immediately jump to the conclusion, oh, then maybe he'll be leaving. There's no evidence that Bobby Petrino has any desire to leave Louisville because of what's gone on there this week. And you can see by the way his team is playing today, they rose above all that. They've been dialed in and focused on football.
And credit to the coaching staff.
Don't throw it in there, Jonesy.
How come?
Dark and full of terror in the middle of the field.
They bring a little pressure. Blackman picks it up. Incomplete. It sets up a 4th down and a decision for Jimbo Fisher as his quarterback gets off the turf. You go for the field goal here, or do you go for it on 4th down? One more look first.
Yeah, he gets heated up here a little bit. Had initial protection, then you see the the pressure at the end, but I think you got to go. You have not scored much all season long. What makes you think if you wait, you'll get 2-3 more possessions and can score 2 or 3 touchdowns when you've scored 9? Wow. 9 touchdowns all season. You have to go here.
A tipping point of the game for Florida State right here with 13:34 to go in the fourth. Blackman under heat. Incomplete. The Cardinals take over on downs, but there's a flag down back at the 28, so hold on.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 99 defense.
Wow. So Florida State bailed out by a roughing the passer call against James Hearns, number 99.
Yeah, the 5th-year senior, a little excited, a little extracurricular at the end. Already had the play made, and Florida State gets a new life.
Wow. Roughing the passer, number 99 on the defense.
Can't drive him in the, let him go.
Half a distance to the goal.
Slams him in.
Touchdown.
Wow, okay.
And a little bit of standing over at the end.
Now, roughing the passer, Rod? I'm just asking.
I think it was more of the end
Okay.
of it.
Bad optics?
Very bad optics.
That's the first Louisville penalty of the game. Mark that point down because it keeps the Seminoles' drive alive and gives them life. And you can see the reaction of Bobby Petrino.
You know,
he didn't like it.
No, the officials are counting the steps that you take to the quarterback also. You get 2 steps, you know, they're going to flag you.
First and goal from the 8-yard line. They run it. Patrick came loose.
Murray's got it.
Recover. Touchdown. Wow. What a bounce. Murray recovered the loose ball for the score.
That's a hustle play by Murray.
Ball was fumbled from the field of play into the end
Murray
zone.
has nothing to do, no block out there. He's just looking around, and he's helping out. Hasn't given up on the play. Uses his quickness to beat Young to the ball.
It took a very propitious pounce for Florida State.
Well, you saw that Patrick was trying to gather the ball to reach it over and lost it.
It looked like they were dead in the water a moment ago on 4th down when their gamble seemingly failed, but the penalty ultimately leads to a score, and they're right back in it.
And Jonesy, you got to be fully aware there's heightened sensitivity to protecting quarterbacks now. And that's clear, but to call that a clear roughing the passer when he was in the grass, we're shaking.
Right, it appeared that Hearns actually let him down on the ground easily and eased him down to the turf. And Samuel brought down shy of the 20-yard line. Let's see what Lamar Jackson's answer is going to be here. Hands it off. Dave Williams getting a lot of touches here, Rod, in the 4th quarter and late in the 3rd quarter. Williams scored the touchdown on the last series for Louisville. Ame made the stop for Florida State. 2nd down coming up, 8 to go.
And if you're Florida State defensively, you're thinking Jackson, which means where do you put Derwin James? How do you get him involved? How do you help him make a play?
Jackson out to the 24-yard line. 3rd down and about 4 to go here. Matthew Thomas making the stop.
And this is still about the matchup with Derwin James and Jackson right now. Florida State brings on their sub package. This is when they like to get James closer to the line of scrimmage. They want him to make a play. He is the difference maker.
He's number 3 on that Seminoles defense.
He's just hovering right here. He's got a 2-way go. He can go after the quarterback, or if he fills it inside, he can get back and play pass.
He's their Swiss Army knife. Jackson kept it, and he's going to be stopped up short of the 1st down by about a yard. At their own 27, Brian Burns made the tackle for Florida State. And in comes the punting unit for Bobby Petrino. We saw Petrino during the last commercial break. He was still hot at the officiating crew about that roughing the passer call.
Yeah, well, he had a right to be. He had a right to be. You got the guy in your arms, and you take him down. You don't take 2 steps. That's not a good call.
Tavares McFadden back deep for Florida State at his own 34. This is Mason King, former walk-on, put on scholarship, and now one of the captains for Louisville. McFadden on the run. Great sidestep and makes it out to the 42-yard line. A 10-yard return. Lamar Jackson with 155 yards rushing, 104 through the air. Another great all-around performance for him. But right now it's his counterpart, James Blackman. 1st and 10 for the Seminoles. Throwing the deep out, and what a beautiful pass. Complete. Near midfield at the 48-yard line to Murray.
Smart call. Keep him out of the middle of the field. Let him use Murray outside. Murray's having a good game. He runs the corner route from the slot very well. Good protection on 1st down. Keep him out of the middle of the field where there's danger, and let him throw to the sideline.
Murray was the guy that gathered the loose ball in the end zone off the fumble for the touchdown a few moments ago. 1st down and 10. Auden Tate in motion to the bottom of your screen. Blackman given time, but off the mark, intended for the tight end Izzo. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Remember, James Blackman thrust into the role as starter when DeAndre Francois was injured in the 1st game against Alabama, subsequently becoming the first true freshman starter at Florida State at quarterback since 1985. Earned his first career win at Wake Forest a couple of weeks ago with a 40-yard touchdown pass in the final minute of the game.
2 picks today. This is when Louisville should heat him up a little bit.
And off to Patrick. Patrick over that left side, stopped up at about the 46-yard line by Isaac Stewart.
I still expect Louisville to bring a little bit more pressure now. You've got him backed up a little bit on 3rd down. You know at this point that Fisher doesn't want to throw the ball over the middle. If he does, it's likely to be Izzo, tight end delay, something across. But by and large, moving the freshman quarterback to the edge and letting him throw to the edge, keeping him out of the middle of the field. That's what you should be thinking defensively.
A pivotal 3rd and 4. They run it to the wide side of the field. Akers got a little room and got loose for the 1st down. And Akers feeling like one perhaps that got away from him.
Yeah,
10-yard gain.
Turf monster. He made a cut and he saw daylight. He turns this thing up and he figures he's on his way. Little turf monster guy.
He'll reach up from the ground once in a while and get you. From the 36. Florida State trying to even its record at 3-3. One-on-one on the edge. The pass complete. And another 1st down. Auden Tate with the catch and run. A gain of 16, and they move the chains again. That time he was working against Ronald Walker, and Tate comes up limping.
They won't have much left, if Tate can't go.
That ankle looked like it rolled underneath him a little bit. Auden Tate has a touchdown catch in every game so far this year, coming into this one today. 5 catches this afternoon for a total of 62 yards.
Well, he's also the big target for Blackman.
On 1st and 10. Blackman one-on-one. Caught! Touchdown Seminoles! Murray again.
He's incredibly athletic, a guy who does cartwheels and anything else you want as a gymnast. He's got press coverage. He just beats his man off the line of scrimmage. Washington's had 2 picks today, but Murray gets separation, and Blackman gave him a chance, floating the ball up there.
We talked just a moment ago about the 4th quarter poise of the freshman quarterback, James Blackman. Murray with a hustle play to jump on the loose ball for the previous touchdown. No doubt on this one, squeezing it in the end zone on the other end of Blackman's pass.
Yeah, a little push off at the end. So what? That's never going to get called. We're all tied up.
Back in Tallahassee, knotted at 28. Florida State rallying from down 14 points. This crowd suddenly alive. Jackson keeps it. At the 32, Derwin James wraps him up and says, not so fast. Speaking of not so fast, you know, they still talk about our guy, Lee Corso, a.k.a. the Sunshine Scooter.
Sunshine Scooter, yeah.
On campus.
Yeah, they do. Why wouldn't they?
Second and 3.
When this offense is in balance, they are getting Jackson to the edge, and he's throwing the ball down the field. That hasn't happened in the second half.
Jackson sacked. A loss on the play. Josh Sweat.
And that's why. He is one of the 4 guys on that defense, likely to be a first-round pick. He's an excellent pass rusher. He's explosive, beats his man easily. And there's a sack. He has had a number of tackles today. He's been disruptive. That is his 7th tackle of the afternoon.
Yeah, one of their top pass rushers as well. Jackson throws a completion at the 45. Another first down. Jalen Smith coming up huge, working against Levante Taylor.
Yeah, that's a good matchup for Louisville. They get him on Taylor. That's not the matchup Florida State wants. They want McFadden covering him, but McFadden plays to the short side of the field, and they didn't bring him over. So anytime Louisville gets that matchup with Smith on Taylor, they ought to be looking for it.
Yeah, they don't throw McFadden's way a whole bunch. 21-yard gain to move the chains on 3rd down. First down and 10 now. Bonifant behind Lamar Jackson. They run a little option. Bonifant on the toss. Into Seminole territory at the 48-yard line. Gained about 5 on the play. Run out of bounds by A.J. Westbrook.
A little different speed option, something we haven't seen. And this is one thing to keep in mind. In the 4th quarter, good coaches always keep a secret. They have a play. They have a blitz. They have something they haven't shown. For Louisville, it was that option. They had not run that all game long.
Bobby Petrino going into his little bag. 2nd and 5. Bonifant takes the handoff and brought down for a first down at the 36-yard line. Good block by Charles Stanberry on the 12-yard run.
Yeah, great block. If you don't have edge support, you don't have defense. Watch 80 get out there and just drive completely outside.
Wow.
That's eliminating the edge.
You talked about it, football being a game of trying to put your opponent on his back.
Simple game. The essence of the game is putting the other man on his back against his will.
Jackson keeps it. Nice little stutter step inside the 30 to the 29. Sets up a 2nd down and 7 to go for the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. Lamar Jackson, the youngest Heisman winner ever.
And a Heisman guy who has been off the Heisman radar. You'll see Barkley tonight. He'll get a chance to make a Heisman statement against Michigan. Bryce Love of Stanford not active today. The other guy who seems to be in the race is Baker Mayfield, but no one talks about Jackson.
They need to. Going up top, has a man. Incomplete. Through the arms of his receiver, Des Patrick. And once again, he was working against Taylor. Rod, you pointed out they like that matchup going after him.
Well, you're not going to work on McFadden. He's open. He's got a chance. He gave him an opportunity. He just dropped it. A little contact there, but it's mutual. No penalties. Patrick's got to come up with that.
I'm not sure what you call mutual, man.
Mutual.
You're a DB at heart still.
If you're not mugging a guy, tackling him, it's all mutual.
He was holding him like a grudge. As Bonifant, the first man through. He's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down. Matthew Thomas making the tackles. So the decision now, Blanton Creaky, a reliable place kicker, 9 of 9 on the season coming in on 4th down, about 5 minutes to go.
He's not feeling it. He's not feeling the field goal. Couple things. One, not the confidence in your kicker for this one. And two, not the confidence that your defense is slowing down Florida State. So he's willing to roll the dice here. Got no problem with that.
And Creaky missed one from 45 to end the first half. 4th and 1.
It's all about Jackson.
Oh, it's going to be close. Not sure that he got
getting
it.
there.
That was Bonifant, who never got downhill.
How do you not give the ball to Jackson?
He's your playmaker.
Your game is on the line. How does Lamar Jackson not have the ball in his hands? All the respect in the world for Bobby Petrino as a play caller, but your guy, the most exciting player in college football, you got a 4th down here, he doesn't keep the football? How's that possible?
Wow. So they avoid the field goal attempt, gamble, and give it up on downs. Now with 4:38 to go, the true freshman James Blackman with another opportunity here in consecutive weeks to pull one out for the Seminoles. A tough run by Cam Akers, a gain of about 6.
And not to belabor the point, but you can't outsmart yourself. Well, they know that we know that Jackson's our best player, so we're not going to give it to our best player because that's exactly what they're thinking. So we're going to fool them. Instead, we're going to do something that's not really in our best interest. Yeah. You can't overthink it.
Just give it to him and let him go.
Do your thing. Just do your thing and dare him to stop you.
Yeah, you wonder if that was the case, maybe. Freezing yourself, overthinking it. 2nd and 4. This is Akers. Nice cutback. Boy, he ran over a couple of Louisville defenders for the first down, just shy of the 40. Florida State with 1 timeout remaining. Louisville with 2. Don't forget Penn State coming up a little bit later at 7:30 Eastern time on ABC tonight, hosting Michigan. And after this one, it'll be Miami taking on Syracuse.
That's a pretty good afternoon and evening lined up for you.
First down and 10. Auden Tate back in the ball game. We saw him limp off on the last series. Blackman for Tate. Incomplete. Tate didn't look like he was expecting it.
That's dangerous.
You didn't like that. Middle of the field?
It is dark and full of terror. And you've got a young quarterback. You have got to be careful. His 2 picks have come over the middle of the field. He's had his most success throwing outside. Murray on corner routes. Tate on outs. That's where he's shown the most confidence.
See what they do here on 2nd and 10. 2-by-1 formation with the receivers. Tate to the bottom of your screen. Out of the backfield, wide open. This is Patrick, runs for first down into Cardinal territory at the 43.
Well, they tried to cover Patrick out of the backfield with the linebacker. No chance. Little option route. He opted to go inside, and it was tossed in there, Q.
Bobby Petrino is going ballistic on the officials. He thought it was an illegal man downfield. You see the Seminoles lineman, I believe it was 54, released and was in front of the receiver. And I think the receiver caught that over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he did, Q. You're right.
1st and 10. Blackman still on his feet. Down to the 22. And well within field goal range. Jaquez Patrick led the way with a good block that time, Rob.
Yes, he did. And we talked about the quarterback run game not being part of the offense. Jimbo saves one for the 4th quarter when he needs it. A 21-yard run that puts him in position. And at 165 pounds dripping wet and with pads on, you can take a chance on your quarterback in the 4th quarter.
1st and 10. The poise of this true freshman quarterback cannot be overstated. Fumbled it, put it on the ground, and a cataclysmic, catastrophic turnover for Blackman and the Seminoles. That'll bring it to your knees.
You know, the quarterback design stuff is not a lot of what they've done. They needed it in the fourth quarter. They saved it. They used it here. They got a big run. Now watch, you got to read this. They don't do this a lot. So pulling it out, trying to read that in, is an issue for Blackman. It's not something he does every day in practice over and over again. That's not part of their game.
Famarua there to pounce on the loose ball. Jackson makes them pay on that play. Close to a first down at the 34, or just shy of it, to Jalen Smith. And that's going to be a tough one to shake off for the true freshman. Louisville with 2 timeouts remaining. Ball at the 34. Cardinals trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. See if they can capitalize on that turnover. Jackson hands it off. Bonifon in the clear and tripped up near midfield at the 49 by Trey Marshall.
If Marshall doesn't make that tackle, Bonifon's gone.
15-yard gain as we look at Blanton Creaky with a long this year of 48 yards. 1st and 10. Jackson pulls it down and finds a man at the 44. That's complete to the tight end, Stanberry.
Jonesy, if you're thinking field goal and where they need to get to, it's about the 34-yard line. That would make it 51, a 51-yarder. Wouldn't make you comfortable, but you'd have a shot if you're Louisville.
Jackson taking a shot one-on-one. Incomplete. It was in and out of the arms of Smith. He had it behind Taylor.
Again, Taylor is the guy that they're taking the shots on because McFadden's on the other side. They get the matchup. Their best receiver against what they perceive as the weaker corner, and another perfectly thrown ball. That's the 2nd drop in the end zone in the 4th quarter by the Cardinals.
That's going to show up as an incompletion against Jackson, but that should have been caught. You're right. 3rd and 1.
And if anybody touches this ball but Jackson, there's something wrong.
He keeps it, got a first down and then some. Jackson brought down inside the 30-yard line, well within field goal range of Blanton Creaky on the 15-yard gain. Louisville with 2 timeouts remaining, 39 seconds to go. Trying to capitalize on that fumble by Blackman.
It's about who you trust and where your kicker wants the ball.
Jackson completes it inside the 20, down to the 15-yard line. Samuel with his first catch of the game, and they are in comfortable field goal range on that gain of 13.
Last year, Jonesy, it was 63 points put up on this Florida State defense, and Jackson owned them.
This might be the last play before they attempt the field goal. Down to the 12-yard line, Bonifon, and with 9 seconds to go in the 4th quarter, the Louisville Cardinals, behind quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner Lamar Jackson, move it all the way downfield and into field goal range for Blanton Creaky, who's 0 for 1 on the day, missing earlier from 45 yards out.
Key guys is very solid. He's left-footed, which is something to keep in mind right now in terms of the hash marks. As Mark said, coming into this game, he had hit 14 straight. He hooked one. He pulled it left earlier in the first half for fans who are just joining us. But I think Coach has a lot of confidence in him, and he should. The question is, do they move this ball more towards the middle of the field?
At 9 seconds to go, they still have a timeout remaining. Creaky is 10 of 11 in his career. Missed one earlier from 45. This one coming from 34 yards out. Blanton Creaky with 9 seconds to go. For the lead. No doubt for Creaky. With 5 seconds to go, the Cardinals capitalize on that fumble from James Blackman and moved it down the field. And that is going to leave an odious taste in the mouth of the freshman quarterback with 5 seconds to go.
3 turnovers for Blackman, 2 picks, and then the catastrophic fumble on the zone read when they were apparently going in for the go-ahead score.
They were in field goal range, too, at the time of the fumble. 5 seconds to go. And the Florida State Seminoles going to pray for a miracle finish here. Anything short of one won't do. It'll come back out to the 25-yard line, 1st down and 10. Louisville with a 3-point lead, 31-28, looking to snap that 2-game losing streak. Last year they won 63-20. This one much more competitive, and Blackman looking for a last gasp effort and wasn't able to get rid of it, and took a big hit at the 23-yard line, symbolic of the finish for Florida State, as he ends up on the turf writhing in pain. He took a hit on the game's final play, and ignominiously and unceremoniously it ends for Blackman and Florida State, who fall now to 2-4 on the season. Here's how it ended.
Yeah, he's just trying to get the ball down the field, but he gets hit from behind, and rough afternoon when you factor in the 2 picks and the huge fumble on the last particular drive. That was Young, I believe, in there making that tackle.
It was James Hearns, actually, Rob, the same guy that was called for that pivotal penalty.
Yeah.
But good to see Blackman get up. He'll have better days, and he's got a lot of talent, a lot of promise, a lot of potential. But today it belonged to the guy on the other side of the field, as Jimbo Fisher checks in on his quarterback. Lamar Jackson talking to the defensive coordinator for the Florida State Seminoles, Charles Kelly. Some mutual respect there. Jackson finishing with 23 rushes for 178 yards, 13 of 21 passing for 156 yards. He goes over 300 yards of total offense again. And Jackson remembers losing. You could sense the relief. And Derwin James there was telling him all day, I got you. I'm going to get you. But the elusive Jackson escaping once again, as Louisville ends up the victor today. For Rod Gilmore and Quinn Kesnick, I'm Mark Jones. Thanks for watching, and so long from Tallahassee. College Football Scoreboard is coming up next.